Oh, man. Oh, my God. Bad news. Canelo won't fight David Benavidez, says David Benavidez, promoter. Roll the clip.
Are you willing to go as far as to speak to Mauricio Sulaiman to try to, try to promote yourself and push that fight?
I mean, we've spoken to him already, but if we have to speak to him again, we definitely, I'll let Samson Lukowicz take care of that. He's a Picasso in boxing, as we say, so we'll let him take care of that.
Let me put it this way for everybody. To be 100%, what I'm saying is precisely the truth. And I want everybody to put that on black and white. We have 3 options for November. One is Plan, the second one is Morrell, and the third one is CHARLO. There's no other way. Canelo doesn't happen. So don't continue fantasize, all of you, on Canelo. It will not take a step ahead to fight the real champion, the champion of the people. So let's not talk anymore about Canelo. Doesn't exist. And he looks so bad that I don't believe he come back. Maybe we'll take a 40-year-old man. But besides that, he will not do nothing else. So please don't talk anymore about Canelo. Doesn't happen. And it will never happen, most likely. So these 3 guys that they deserve to fight. I imagine that Plan is the best one because you have a personal bandera between for a long time. So if he really want the fight, he be ready for Plan. For Morrell, that he talk too much. Well, he's Cuban. He like to talk, So and CHARLO. CHARLO deserves to make a decision that it be the hard one to make, but it's a real pay-per-view. So let's not talk anymore about Canelo, please. Thank you.
Wow. Okay. Let's do it. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. You guys heard it. That clip I just played was David Benavidez, who just looked phenomenal, knocking out David LEMIEUX in 3 rounds. Really could have been a first-round knockout, but that was his promoter, Samson Lukowicz. Now, David Benavidez, he definitely is the Mexican monster. And as I stated before, the walls are closing in on Mr. Payday. You want payday? I know that. Canelo Alvarez. Because the pressure is surmounting and rising. And you got David Benavidez, who remains undefeated, became a 3-time champion. This was an eliminator for a WBC belt. That's why you see some of the pictures post-fight. He has so many belts on him. And the walls are closing in. I think that was shots from Samson, who is basically, he just told the world at the post-fight press conference, yo, don't even worry about a Canelo fight. We're just pretty much not assuming the Canelo will fight David Benavidez, especially looking like that. So we're just excluding him from the conversation because I don't think that fight will ever happen. The fight will never happen. So it's gotten to the point where David Benavidez keeps showing up. He's keep calling out the same guys. So they don't even have faith as a team that even though he just became, because if you listen to the question, he says, will you petition or try to get in touch with Mauricio Sulaiman to try to leverage a shot at Canelo? And that was the response that Team Benavidez gave, the promoter of Benavidez. So what does that state for boxing? I think Team Benavidez knows that WBC, aka We Back Canelo, they'll bend and do anything and give Canelo whatever he wants because they're looking at him as the money maker, the cash cow, the money guy, the face of boxing. So he gets to bend the rules. So as a result, you can't stagnate your own career worrying about the career of somebody else. And there's no more that Benavidez can do. So it's taking shots at Canelo, but it's also realistic. If you look at how Canelo has been moving, Canelo doesn't look like he wants to fight guys like Benavidez, Morrell, JERMALL, CHARLO, Beterbiev in certain styles. He shied away from certain styles. I tell you all the time, styles make fights. Benavidez showed he had a jab, a snappy jab at that, a powerful jab. He's bigger than Dimitri Bivol. Here's the picture of Dimitri Bivol, the guy who just beat Canelo. And even though he's in a higher weight class, 175, Benavidez still looks pretty big. And in the past, not this fight, but in the past, Benavidez has struggled to make weight. So who knows what his walk around weight is, right? He did a great job of being disciplined and showing up. And Benavidez is very young, and he's younger than Canelo, just like David Morrell. It really takes something from a fighter who's had more fights. Canelo got over 50 fights, right? At the time Canelo fought Mayweather, they had almost the same amount of fights because the experience, now it wasn't the same resume because of course Floyd fought the better competition. Canelo had the Mexican upbringing, club fights and stuff on his way up until he got to the better competition like Julio Cesar Chavez Sr. But Canelo's been in there, had a lot of fights, and he's a golfer now. You know, I really believe that. I believe you can't disassociate yourself from the competitive side of boxing. Like, no matter how much money you make, like, it's not just about showing up in gym. You have to have grueling sparring. And you got guys that they want to make a name from you. And I know a lot of fighters personally. Like, I could call them at any given moment, right? And the thing is, you got guys that, when you're an Andre Ward, for example, they're trying to make a name. I know there's actually a fighter, I'm not going to put their business in the street, but allegedly he had a good day versus Andre Ward. I heard Andre Ward came back the next day and beat the brakes off of the dude. Because when you're a name marquee fighter, then people are trying to make their name off you. Like, that becomes like a badge of honor. Like, yo, I fought Andre Ward and this happened, or I fought Canelo and sparred him. So boxing is not for the faint of heart. You got to kind of get in, have a vision, you know, conduct your business, get a great team, and be in and be out when it's your time. But you always got up and coming people, and they're trying to make their name, or like they watched you on the way up, they're trying to knock you out in sparring, or they get a chance to fight you, they're trying to knock you out because they want everything you have. They want to inherit that, you know what I mean? And these up and coming guys like Morrell, both Davids, tell it two Davids, as I call it, David Morrell Jr. and David Benavidez, they looking like monsters. And Canelo, he's in between a rock and a hard spot because you fight BIVOL at 75, super dangerous, do or die fight. If you fight him and lose at 168, he said he'll meet you at 168. If you were to lose that, that's career, I'm not gonna say career ending, but 2 losses in a row is hard for anybody, especially if he beats you, because the whole excuse is he was too small. So now he's negating a bigger weight advantage and making an extra sacrifice, and Canelo's undisputed at 168. So if BIVOL were to fight him at 168 and beat him, then there's literally no excuse as to why that he beat you when he sacrificed his weight, when he's a champion at 175, just to give you some type of advantage. So Canelo would be dead in the water with the excuses and the Canelo Chupapi Muñeños and the man fans, right? So I don't know. I think we may have possibly seen the best of Canelo Alvarez. I can't tell you what he'll do. He's his own boss, and you know, he's earned some leverage in the sport of boxing, but the pickings is looking slim to me. And it's like everywhere you turn, there's killers. David Benavidez, monster performances. His team's basically calling you out saying, hey, we're looking at Morrell Jr., Caleb Plant, or JERMALL Charlo if he wants to move up. Those are the 3 options we want to pursue because we know the Canelo fight will never happen. So that's just showing you Canelo's reputation as far as like the strategic and the picking. So if Canelo says, hey, I want to fight Max, big drama, instead of fighting the guy that just beat you, or the likes of BIVOL or Morrell's or the Charlos, you know, better be if Joe Smith Jr. winner, something like that is going to show you some of Canelo's character and where he's at. And again, this is a type of sport where you got to really be in it. You can't be golfing and have 1 foot out, 1 foot in. Let me know how I did in this video. Subscribe to the channel. I am the best in the business. You guys want to catch the content. This is your one-stop shop for all your boxing needs. You dig? And I'm out. The future is now. The Hibernation 5s by Kenichi Bear. Hybrid gaming and lifestyle headphones. Out of the box, you can connect to any console or PC. Bluetooth ready with a low latency USB adapter, color RGB, and extreme bass mode. The Hibernation 5s adjust to you. Whether you need a gaming, travel, gym, or lifestyle headphones, the Hibernations got you covered. The new Hibernation 5s, link in the description. Customize the way you hear the world. Welcome to the nation. Introducing Super Thanks. Right here on the official Boxing Ego YouTube. Super Thanks allows you, the viewers, to show a little bit of extra gratitude, which enables me as a full-time content creator to push out the content you need in the world of boxing. Underneath all the videos, you will see a heart with the $sign in it. You can enter any amount that you find suitable as a super thanks. A brand new interactive and colorful way to get your comments highlighted and noticed by not only myself, but other people on the YouTube platform. Super thanks, a unique and cool way to show and applaud us full-time content creators. Hopefully you guys enjoy the content. Super thanks.